Hello, traders. This is Rich with DreamingWithTheMarkets.com. Today is June 16th, 2025. I had a comment from a trader. He asked a simple question, but it's a valid question. He was requesting a video on how to deal with trades where you end up not following your stop loss. And as it just keeps going against you. Also, I'd like you to do something dealing with tilts, 6 winning days and then 1 tilt day, or like one big bad trade. He's confident that he can recover from it, but wants to know my thoughts. So, in summary, let's go ahead and get into that.
No!
I don't normally do
No!
videos, people that watch the videos and comments, but I'm going to do one on this just because I think it's important. I've said this many, many times in my other videos, and if you watch them until the end, you're going to find little nuggets here and there. But I'm not going to just go ahead and teach on YouTube because I have a mentorship program, and all of the mentees go through a structured program, one-on-one, and I explain everything to them and why we do things the way we do. But in reference to stop losses, I do believe that a stop loss is a sense of false security. That's what it is. It is a security blanket for those, in my honest, humble opinion, that are having a problem with trading. Because if you knew where you're at in the market, why would you need a stop loss? The only way you have a stop loss is maybe you're over leveraging. If you're over leveraging, then you shouldn't be trading in the market also. They work together, traders. Leveraging and a stop loss works together. What kind of account are you on? It's not a one-shoe-fits-all. A stop loss, again, is a security blanket. If you took the stop loss away, most traders would not go ahead and press the button to execute a trade. That is a fact. They use a stop loss to protect their account or to protect their trade, or so they don't lose all their money. But no one ever told them, with the fucked up education that we have today, that you need a skill before you enter in the market. Because that's where risk starts. Risk starts before the execution of a trade, not after. Risk starts before the execution of a trade. Just because you have a stop loss doesn't mean shit. There are people that use stop losses and understand the market structure or understand the market in general. And I don't mean market structure, so don't go off and think that, oh, you're going to trade market structure, you're going to do okay. Because I'm going to tell you right now, you're not. That's fucked up. There are highs and lows from the seconds to the minutes to the hours to the days to the weeks to the months. There's highs and lows. And you got so many people on there that don't know what the fuck they're doing and they trade each and every day and they lose their ass. None of them can post every day showing their skill. Point them out to me. Put them in the comments every day that they're showing their skill. I know very few, on one hand, that are posting that basically can do that each and every day. That doesn't mean they don't exist. What I'm telling you is 95% of the education sucks. Why? Because 95% of the herd are failing. Geez, that's a fucking thought, right? So 95% of the people are failing. That's because 95% of the education sucks. Bare minimum. And probably 1% of the education is actually good. Because teaching you the basics is not going to teach you how to trade in the market, trading. It's not. And he had a question about tilt. Respectfully, I go on tilt. Everyone goes on tilt. Why? Maybe something happened. Maybe you had a problem with your system. Maybe you just had a bad day. Maybe you spilled coffee on your nutsack. Who knows? But you probably had a bad day, right? And you're gonna go on tilt. I've been coffee in the market one day where I was up about $15,000 in a few seconds right when the market opened. I decided I'm just gonna go to the doctor and come back. No fucking problem. I got it all in my I know what I'm doing, everything else. Up 15 grand, boom, like that. Came back home, down 30 grand. That cockiness got the best of me. But you know what? It was intuition. It was fucking intuition, traders, at the time. I made a decision on intuition at that point in time. I can tell you right now, intuition does not work. A hunch does not work. A skill works in the market. That is a fact. So do we go on tilt days? Absolutely. The market will humble us at times. Although if you have a bad day, and you actually have a true skill in the market, listen very carefully, trader. I don't know you personally, but listen very carefully. If you have a skill in the market, and you practice that skill each and every day, when you have a bad day, you just shrug it off. Why? Because you have a skill. So it doesn't matter if you lose. Who cares if you lose? Because you have a skill. You can start from zero each and every day. And when you have a skill like I have, and you can back it up like I can, I don't give a shit what the market does. And I don't care if I lose that day. That's not called gambling. That's because I have a skill. I never know when I'm going to lose, but with the highest probability, I'm going to win. That's because of my skill level. Not because of some mystery, not because of my intuition, and I've been doing this 5 years, 10 years, I'm a multi-million-dollar fuck-up. No. It's because of my skill. My skill's going to lead the way. Your skill is going to lead the way. If you have a skill, it's going to lead the way. And you're going to start to climb the ladder each and every day as your skill gets better. But if you don't have the proper education, that is a recipe for disaster. I hope this helps. Thanks. Traders, you need to start thinking about using common sense. Be honest with yourself. Why do people tell you to use a stop loss? Why is that so important? How many times do people tell you you need a stop loss? What do you take? A 1 to 3, 1 to 4, 1 to 1? What is all that bullshit? Think about it. How about learning how to trade? Man, that's a concept, right? Why don't we learn how to trade? Fuck. Is that all we had to do? Is just learn how to trade? Yeah. That's it. Learn how to trade the market. That is your stop loss. The market's your stop loss. Your skill is your stop loss. Risk starts before the execution of a trade. You should not be getting in the market if the first thing you're looking for is where do I put my stop. That's backwards. I'm sorry, you may not like what I had to say, but I'm not going to tell you what you want to hear. 95% of the people are not profitable. And you want to be on that other side telling me, telling the world that you know what they're fucking doing, that you know what you're doing. How can anybody have all these trading courses in these prop firms or sell courses in the prop firms trying to teach people how to trade? They're just showing them the basics. It is a recipe for disaster. I can see it with my own eyes, how they trade themselves. I can listen to them. I can see where they're at in the market. I can see this. Oh my God, I know everything. I've been in the market so much, so long. Well, guess what? They still need to level up. That's a fact. They need to level up. If you're using a stop loss, it is a false sense of security in the market. Take the stop loss out of the equation, I guarantee you probably wouldn't take your trade. Why? Because you don't have confidence in your trade. What do they tell you? What are you willing to risk and lose? Manage your risk. Manage your risk when you're in the market. Risk starts before the execution of a trade, not after. Yeah, you're going to get pinched. Yeah, you're going to blow an account. Yes, it's not going to work out for you sometime. You got to learn how to trade. I don't trade with a stop loss. Who's going to tell me I'm full of shit? It's crazy. I can trade the market. I didn't tell the mentees that they could not use a stop loss. That's up to them. Once you gain your skill in the market and you understand your skill level, you may not need a stop loss anymore. That's a fact. A lot of professional traders don't use stop losses. I haven't used a stop loss. I didn't use a stop loss in 1999. I didn't even know what a stop loss was. For what? You got to understand where you're at in the market. You got to understand what you're doing in the market. You can't squeeze the market. No one tells you that. The prep firms want you to use a stop loss. Why? They can sweep it. They can expand the spreads, the slippage. I've seen it myself. I'm up 300 pips in a trade, in profit. They expand the spreads to 300 and something, wipe me out of the market. I owe them now. Artificial spreads, artificial slippage. It's bullshit. They clean the books, traders.
No! No!
Think about it. If someone shaved 1/16th of a penny, 1/16th of a penny on every trade that went in and out of the market, the New York Stock Exchange, 1/16th of a penny. First of all, who would know? And second of all, how many millions and trillions of dollars could they make in a day? Just shaving 1/16th of a penny. And you think all that shit on the fucking internet, YouTube University? Do you have to pay for YouTube University? Ask yourself that question and be honest. YouTube University is free. When's the last time you were able to go to an Ivy League school for free? Without a scholarship. YouTube University is free, and that's what you get. Free shit. And it's exactly that. Shit. So now what? I'm sorry I'm not telling you what you want to hear. But I'm not going to sit here and tell you something that's not a fact. It's not my opinion. I can show it. I can prove it. Those people can't show it and prove it. It's intuition. You can't prove intuition. It's a hunch. You can't prove a hunch. Oh, it comes with experience. How do you prove that? If you can't teach a skill, you don't even know how to trade. If you can't teach a skill, you don't know how to trade. That's a fact. Trading is a skill. Ain't nobody fucking telling you that on the internet. Why? Geez, that's a fucking thought. When you have a skill, you trade fearlessly, without hesitation, robotically, objectively, not subjective, not a hunch, not an intuition.
No! No!
What the hell? Traders, those people owe you an apology. They got you into gambling. You must learn a skill each and every day. When you wake up and you go to the gym, you go to martial arts, you do all fishing, a hobby, all of that is a skill. I know there's some people out there watching that fish, that go and play different sports. All of that is a skill. Trading is not any different. I'm here to tell you that. Why? Because I have the skill, and I can teach the skill. That's why. And when you can teach the skill and you have the skill, you can back it up. Not by money, by the skill. Now all you do is you put leverage on that skill. It could be $1 or $2. It could be $1,000. The skill is the same. The skill is the same, traders. So for everyone out there using a stop loss, and for everyone going on tilt, you just have to learn more. You need to level up. I don't care how many times you want to trade or how many days in a row. I trade thousands and thousands and thousands of trades. I'm not impressed by money. I'm not impressed by a one YOLO trade or a Holy Grail trade. I'm not impressed by a $1,000 trade of profit. That doesn't impress me at all. It impresses everyone without a skill. Would you rather follow someone who has a skill or who has the money? Because the money is going to run out when they don't have any more coming in. They don't have the skill. Use common sense, traders. I wish you well. I wish you well. And I hope you level up. If you want to come to breathingwiththemarkets.com, I will teach you a skill set, something that you can practice day in and day out. And you will see yourself advance little by little by little, and you will understand where you are in the market and what level you are at. Because the bigger the size, the better skill you need. And don't get fooled by all these fucking gurus that have all this money coming in, selling courses where you watch a fucking TV screen, and you read a book, and they don't have a skill. They're teaching you the basics in trading, and look at me, I do it, it works. But they can't teach it. That's a scam. That's not called a skill, that's called a scam. Why don't you ask them to teach you the skill? It's a simple word, don't be scared. Press the issue. Ask the important questions. It's your trading life, not theirs. You paid the money, not them. I've been in numerous discords before. People wanted me to teach them, and they bought a program from someone else. I used to say, have them teach you. But they couldn't teach. Why? They didn't have the fucking skill. Peace, traders.